Welcome to the Empath School Podcast. I'm Jack, and together with my wife, Tiff, we are all about you, the empath. We are the creators of the #1 energy management system for you. We help you reclaim your power and thrive in your life and at work. Let's do this. Welcome to episode 232. And I'll know the title when I'm done. That's the kind of episode this will be today. Yes, it is just me. This is Jack. And Tiff is in no condition to be sitting here recording a podcast episode, as she has been feeling really crappy. She had a really solid cold that kind of turned into a flu and knocked around her lungs, and she's currently home resting. So today it's you and it's me, and we're going to go on a little adventure together. And as I began thinking about topics, what I wanted to talk about, I thought maybe I'll talk a little bit about the hero's journey. Joseph Campbell is the one that coined the hero's journey. And to begin with, I'm going to give you a gross oversimplification. Okay, so the hero is someone that has this crazy idea. And everyone pretty much doubts their crazy idea. And this person, we're calling this person the hero. They're not the hero yet. It's a person. So a person has a crazy idea. The people around this person doubt them. They doubt that person's idea. Said person then leaves their village and ventures out into the unknown to pursue their vision. This person faces some serious obstacles, one of which is falling into an abyss with monsters and beasts. And this person barely escapes death. But then they manage to come out on the other side with whatever it was they were looking for, their crazy idea, and they've got it in their hand, and they continue on their journey and return to the village triumphant. So there you go. That's a gross oversimplification of the hero's journey. And as I was thinking about today's conversation, I thought, what's really important to me? One of the things that's important to me is living my truth, living as my most authentic self. And in order to do that, I've had to make some very big decisions. They felt monumentally huge, monstrously huge. The decisions that I've made to be where I am now. And I am so clear as I stand here today, as I sit here today, recording this podcast, that those decisions took me absolutely where I wanted to be. I've been on my own hero's journey with Tiff. I'd say we've shared a hero's journey, Tiff and I, together. We've been working this business, this life coaching and spiritual healing business, for 16 years. We focus primarily on highly sensitive empaths like you. We've been working directly, doing group coaching, online group coaching with empaths, specifically empaths, inside our school. It's called the Empath School, go figure. And we've been working with empaths it was 5 years ago, this last October, where we started doing group work and have been running our school and working with empaths from around the world. And we have different entry levels into our school. we have we have a lot of free. So we have this podcast, Empath School Podcast with Tiff and Jack. We have our Empath School website at www.empathschool.com. And I do put the www in there because I am working through a little snafu with my website. If you just type in empathschool.com, it's going to show you a broken, it gives you a message like, warning, do you want to continue? Yes, you can continue. It's safe. We are real. But I'm trying to get it worked out so people can enter no URL, no www, or add it and have it be just fine either way. So we have empathschool.com, our website, where we have resources for you. We have a blog. We have our weekly email that goes out on our website. You can enroll into our weekly email. You get an email from me or Tiff every week supporting you as an empath. We host Empath Lab periodically. We have one coming up here at the end of January 2025. And that's where Tiff and I jump on live on a Zoom, in a Zoom room, and we talk about the important things you need to know as an empath. And there is an anchoring factor that has been with us from the very beginning in our empath school journey and our private coaching journey. And that is bag work. BAGWORK. Bag work is our proprietary process that was created by Tiffany Walker. It was probably 17 years ago now that she saw how to clear limiting beliefs. She was given a vision. She is a gifted visionary, psychic medium, literally born this way. Came into the world with a very heightened ability to see into both worlds. So the unseen world and the seen world. The seen world being what we're all born into. The unseen world, I consider that to be of a mystical spiritual realm, where she can talk to people that have died. She can see and read the Akashic record for people, which is our whole story. Start to finish, way beyond this life. And she can connect with people when they ask her to give them guidance or to assist them with cutting cords or clearing their energy. She can read their Akashic record. So that's being psychic. The medium part is where she can talk to dead people. And that's just her. That's just who she is. And it's an amazing part of our business because she also is a channel, which means she can bring energy messages through from the unseen world. And she channels a group of overseer beings called the Blue that are here to assist with the raising of the consciousness of our planet. And Tiff and I have been on our hero's journey, bringing bagwork to the world. She literally heard a voice after she created bagwork. She heard a voice that said, it's your job to bring bagwork to the world. And because we do bagwork with our private clients, we do bagwork with our group coaching clients in Empath School. Bagwork is around the world. Right now, it's in Australia. It's in the country of Serbia. It's in Canada. It's in the UK and Australia. So it's around the world. Yeah, there are some countries that we haven't stepped into, but it doesn't mean it won't. But bagwork is the tool that I would say I've carried as the person running the business side of things. Tiff is the coach. She is the teacher. She is the healer, the channel. She's the basis of our intellectual property. And I'm the guy that brings it forward by creating the systems and the labs and the emails and all the things that we do to keep our business expanding. Work with our marketing agent, Galen Ferguson. She's genius. And this is what we do. So this has been the journey that we've been on. We started that journey 16 years ago, a little over that. And today it's moving. It's expanding every day. But it certainly hasn't been without its abysses. Falling into the deep abyss more than a few times and being on this hero's journey. You know, Tiff and I know, and I'll speak for myself because I'm the one speaking. I know what I'm here to do. I know who I am, I know what I am, and I know how I serve. And when I say what and who and how that I am, because of my individualized expression, my unique expression, I'm the only one that can do the work that I'm doing. And Tiff and I together have our own unique expression together. And our work is working with you, the empath. We're here to make your journey, your path more smooth, to give you courage when you're feeling alone, to support you and teach you and talk with you about how to protect your energy. If you don't shield, and shielding is as quick and easy as visualizing an energetic shield around your body before you start your day, before you go into Costco. You just pop that shield on, and your knowingness of that shield is what creates it. That's what holds the energetic space around you and supports you so you don't absorb the feelings and emotions of the people that you're engaging with or mingling with. So when I say Costco, but it's a really great example because there are a lot of people in Costco, and all of us have an energy body that extends about 6 feet out from us. So it's not just our body, it's actually our energy, and our energy commingles, even if you don't touch another person. If you're within, 6 feet of them, you're going to be absorbing and taking on their energy. And if you don't know for sure if you absorb energy, pay attention the next time you go into Costco. Don't put on a shield. And pay attention to how you feel, and then pay attention to how you feel when you walk out. Are you impacted? Do you feel different? Do you ever find yourself just suddenly like being overcome with anger and no one's even around you? And you're wondering what's going on. Well, not only is it in person, but also online. So now that we have so much engagement with other people online, it's a lot. So just pay attention. If you're somebody that absorbs energy, or you're deeply impacted by how another person is feeling, you're a highly sensitive person. Being an empath, being a highly sensitive person, 20% of the population on the planet has a brain that it takes in more information through their senses than 75% of the rest of the people. And 1 to 2% of that 20% actually absorbs energy into your own energy body. And that's what being an empath is. So whether you're a full-blown empath or you're just a highly sensitive person, either way, shielding your energy will make your day feel better. It will feel better. So my hero's journey, I would say the hero's journey Tiff and I have been on has been bringing bag work to the world. And we've navigated this road for a very long time, and we have fallen into many, many holes. We have climbed over many mountains. We have had people tell us that we need to get a real job. We have hired coaches for a lot of money through the years. Every coach has given us another piece of our puzzle. We have felt to barely escape death at different times when we had people How much do I want to say there? Mm, I'm not going to go into the details on this, but yeah, we've had people that have wanted to sue us, not because of our business, because of our personal relationship with these people prior to Tiff and I coming together. And then Tiff and I came together, and some people did not like the fact that we were together. Now, I am a trans man, which means that when Tiff and I met, my name was Susie. Some trans people won't say they call it their dead name. I don't call it my dead name. I call it my former name because I lived in a body as Susie for almost 40 years before I recognized the truth of who I really am. I didn't understand the, I didn't have context to understand what it meant to feel male in a female body. I just was looking through my own eyes and having my own experience. And I was presenting as a female, but I struggled mightily with myself. And I didn't feel like I belonged in the body that I was in, but I didn't have a word for it. And because I was very religious and raised very religious, I didn't have context to understand who I was within myself. But as I began to understand that, and because of Tiff's presence in my life and her love of me, her desire for me to be able to live my most authentic truth, as we unfolded it, right as we were going, she ran across an article about being transgender. She read it, and because she recognized me in the struggles of having body dysmorphia, feeling very out of place, feeling not connected to the female parts of me. And though I tried so hard to fit in, I just couldn't stand a few things. I couldn't stand my boobs. And I had some pretty good boobs back in the day. Couldn't stand them. I had a breast reduction when I was 21. And I wanted the doctor back then to cut my boobs down to nothing. So I was almost flat. The doctor wouldn't do it. And I'll use the word convinced me that would be a bad idea. So left me with, not huge boobs, but definitely bigger than I wanted. But even then, I didn't understand because I was still practicing the religion of my youth, the way I had been raised, the way I raised my kids. I had given birth to four, well, not yet, but when I had a reduction, that was prior to giving birth to 4 kids. That was being married to a man for 19 years. That man and I would consider our relationship more like companions and comrades. And we were great teammates and not so great when it came to intimacy because I was trans. I didn't recognize it then. I didn't know it, but we had problems and ended up giving birth. And then, fast forward 18 years into that marriage is when Tiff walked into my life. And my marriage was already unraveling pretty big and looking towards the end. And I met Tiff and I fell in love with her. And falling in love with her was something I had no idea I could do. I didn't know I could fall in love with a woman. I didn't know I could feel the way I did about her. Tiff and I maintained a friendship for 3 years. And as we maintained that friendship without crossing the line, we always laugh about this. We didn't cross the line for 3 years. So essentially, we didn't become intimate. We were intimate in the way of the deepest friendship I have ever had with another living person on this planet. We weren't sexual, but we were intimate because of our connection. And it wasn't until we crossed the line and I kissed her the first time, that was 3 years in, just shy of 3 years in. Oh boy, I suddenly realized I had a very big decision to make. And I knew that by making that decision of being in a relationship with Tiff more than a friendship, that then my religion would no longer match who I was being, because then it would be considered that I was in a same sex relationship. But it never sat well with me. And even at that point, we were together for we were together from the beginning. I think it was 7 years before I transitioned. And it was 2 years before I started taking testosterone. It was 2 years before that I recognized that I was transgender, that I was born in a body that legitimately didn't match who I felt to be. Never did. But I just didn't understand there was a word for it, and I didn't understand what was going on because I was always trying to be good. I was always trying to be worthy of God's, to have a place with God. That's how I defined it and viewed it. And as I then made the decision to transition, then there were other decisions that had to be made. And this is all part of my hero's journey. But I would say meeting Tiff was the beginning, because it wasn't until I met Tiff that it wasn't until I met her that I started to wake up. And waking up to me means I started to connect more deeply to myself. And that also is where bag work comes in for me, because I had a way to identify, number one, identify through triggers. When I was triggered by something, I realized Tiff taught me this. This is part of bag work, and I would call it our belief breakthrough methodology. So the very first thing you have to understand is that our thoughts create our feelings. Your thought creates your feeling. That feeling drops into our body, and we're like, oh my God, I'm feeling so sad, or I'm feeling so guilty, or I feel so embarrassed. Well, that feeling is because of something we just thought. So our thoughts create our feelings by that chemicals created through, after we think the thought, the brain creates a chemical, it drops it down into our body. We call that a thought. A feeling. Once we have that feeling, then it creates a behavior, right? So we're going to take we're going to act a certain way when we're feeling certain things. And then when we're now acting and behaving, then the world's responding to us, and that creates more thoughts. It creates more feelings, and those feelings create more ways of being, more way of acting, how we are acting, who we're being. And that's how our thoughts create our world. So within our field, our life coaching and our work inside our school, it's all built on this foundational teaching methodology. Perception triangle, how our brain works, being able to identify using your triggers as a way to bring the unconscious programming up into our conscious experience, because all of our limiting beliefs, everything we've ever experienced, lives in our unconscious brain. 95% of our brain is unconscious. We don't know what's in there, but everything we've ever experienced, everything we believe, our ideas about the world, all lives in our unconscious brain. And then our conscious brain, 5%, is making sense of things. So one of the issues that we all have is knowing what our false beliefs really are, what our limiting beliefs really are, because they live in our unconscious brain. And that's the power of being able to track your triggers and identify, oh, I'm feeling triggered, and getting to the bottom of what we're believing because of this circumstance or this input, this event, whatever it is we are thinking about. And it's never the experience or event or circumstance itself that's making us feel like shit. It's what we're thinking about ourselves, to ourselves, in relation to the circumstance. Like, It's so powerful. And then once you can recognize, oh, I am believing that I'm less than that person because they drive a nicer car than me. Or they, think about it. Think about what it feels like if you lose a job or you get fired. It's not the losing of the job that's causing you pain. It's not the being fired. It's not you not having a PhD or not going to college that's making you feel like shit. It's what you're believing about yourself in relation to the fact you don't have a PhD, or you've been fired, or you've lost a job, or this or that, or you're so emotional. It's what you're thinking about yourself in relation to that. And when you're feeling crappy, or you get a strong trigger, which makes you feel like shit in your body, and your body gets all shades, you get a sick feeling in your gut, or your throat gets tight, or you feel your body is just all clenched up. Think about what it's like when you almost get in an accident. Your body drops adrenaline into your body, and then your body goes into quick, fast fight or flight, right? That's because of a chemical in response to a thought that you thought so fast you didn't even know you were thinking it. And the same is true for every single trigger. It's in response to something that you just experienced. And that's why our methodology is built on this foundation of this belief breakthrough methodology, where you have to understand the brain, the perception triangle, how your brain works, right? Thoughts create feelings, feeling create behavior, behavior creates more thoughts. That's the perception triangle. And then your trigger is the next piece of this puzzle, like paying attention to your triggers when you're triggered. Where are you feeling it in your body? What are you feeling? How are you feeling? What are you feeling this way in response to? What does it feel like it means about you that this thing happened or is happening? That is a limiting belief. And that limiting belief makes you feel a certain way. And that feeling makes you act a certain way. And bag work then is the final step. And that's where you have a way to actually disconnect that belief, to break that neural pathway so that it no longer fires. No longer will that thought fire and create a feeling of shame in you because you were able to get aware of it. Carl Jung, who was a contemporary, I believe, in the realm of Joseph Campbell, Carl Jung, the quote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Well, one of the easiest ways to make the unconscious conscious is to pay attention to when you feel triggered and ask yourself the questions I just walked you through. And then do bag work. Whatever you can do, get some bag work done. And while I haven't written the bag work book, which the book that I'm writing right now about my coming into my most authentic self, it may end up being a bag work book too, but we'll see. I'm not sure yet. Either way, there will be a book published that will walk you through how to do bag work. Until then, talk to me. Let's do some coaching or come into our school and you'll learn how to do bag work. You'll do bag work every week if you're participating in our full course, our Empath School Personal Track, which is a 12-month group coaching program. Or we also have our home study, which is an online course, and bag work's in it. So if you are interested in either of those things, go to our website, Empath School, and you'll be able to jump in and learn more about that. So this was ours. Like, our hero's journey included bringing bag work to the world. And literally at the beginning, after I got divorced, Tiff and I got together, there was some problems that the ex didn't like that for all, his own reasons. That's okay. I can understand the triggers there. And we have really had to fight at the beginning, not so much, now we just keep going. We just keep going, bringing bad work to the world. But we have had some really big challenges along the way. And we just never quit. We're never going to quit because this is our work. This is Tiff and I living our most authentic expression includes bringing bad work to the world. And every time we come out the other side and face all the challenges, and running a business of any kind is fraught with challenges, and running this business has all of its own challenges, but I'm just not willing to quit. And me coming into my truth as a transgender male, trans man means that I was born in a female body and I am male. So that's why I call myself a trans man. And that was all part of this hero's journey that I've been on. And I want you to know that you are on your own journey. You are on your own hero's journey. And you're going to feel that feeling within yourself of something that's calling to you, something that matters to you. Maybe you've already heard the call. Maybe you haven't heard it yet. Maybe it's just this feeling of something that excites you or something you feel really aligned with. Maybe you're working in a job right now and it just is not feeling right to you. Well, there very likely could be something for you that you're here to do, to experience. But first we have to be willing to pay heed to that idea, that crazy idea, that crazy feeling, that crazy call. And then when you start moving forward, there's going to be many things that you will have to jump over in order to pay heed to this very strong call within you. People around you will doubt you. People will think you're crazy. People will think you've lost your mind. And the leaving of your village and venturing into the unknown is moving forward on that crazy idea in whatever way that is for you. I don't know what it is, but you do. And if you don't, then when you fall asleep at night, offer up to your higher self, help me see, what is my hero's journey? Where am I at on my hero's journey? What is mine to bring to this world in a way that matters to me? Just ask and trust that you'll know it at the right time, in the right place, and let go of how that answer comes to you. But you'll get it, I promise. And then you have to leave the known. You have to actually, when you know what that is, then you step into the unknown. You don't know how it's all going to work out. You don't know if you're actually going to be able to do the thing that you feel called to do. It's going to be you believing in yourself enough that when you're tripping and falling on your face and people are telling you that you're crazy and you need to get a real job and you keep going anyway, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where your strength grows because of the obstacles in your way. And everything you're experiencing now is building your muscle. It's building your fortitude so that you will continue to expand. It expands you. Every obstacle expands your vision. It expands your belief in self. It expands your belief in your capability to do what it is you feel called to do. We can't live and experience our hero's journey if we don't lean through and climb over the obstacles. And you will feel, and I have felt, like I am barely escaping death. In fact, part of my hero's journey with this experience of being with Tiff and bringing bad work to the world included Tiff's brain injury when she came as close to death as one can come. Because she literally lost herself. She was completely derealized and depersonalized because of her brain injury. and thought the best next step was death. And she survived, and we carried on. And through that, our coaching practice looks entirely different. We used to do all of our coaching together. We team coached, and I would take the client through bag work, and she was the lead coach. She would ask the questions to help the client uncover their limiting beliefs to themselves. And I would take notes, and then I'd take every client through bag work. Well, when she had her brain injury, it looked like we were going to lose everything because she could not coach. She couldn't even hardly breathe. She was so overcome. Her brain was so under fire because of the dysregulated her vagus nerve was not functioning the way that it needed to at all. Her GABA receptors were all knocked offline. Everything was so, she was afraid of everything. She couldn't even leave the house. We couldn't have light on. The sound of the dog almost literally threw her into a total freak out. During that time, we called the paramedics 3 times. It was at the beginning of COVID. Lockdown had happened. We were alone in this fight for her life. You wonder if my hero's journey has had some crevasses, some abysses, some Mount Everests. Yes, it has, just like yours. And you know what I know about you? You're still standing, and so am I. And that means we have what we need inside of us to do this. And no matter where you are or what awareness you have of where you are on your hero's journey, you're on one. Every one of us has a hero's journey. And we overcome, we survive, and a lot of the time we thrive. And I am so very grateful to know what I know and to be in this experience. And here I am today. I have now been expressing and living as my truth in my most authentic expression as a man. I am Jack Walker. I am married to Tiffany Walker. We are running and loving a life coaching and spiritual healing business. We are called to work with empaths and the healers and the creators, the highly sensitive empathic creators and entrepreneurs and coaches and healers on this planet to support you so you can do the work. You can live your hero's journey, that you can come out on the other side triumphant every day. And I love this work. I love this journey. I love my life. I have honestly never been happier. I didn't even know this kind of joy existed. I didn't know what it feels like to be so madly in love with another person that you would do anything to be with them for the end, through the end of time and beyond. And that's how I feel about Tiffany. And when we met, with how beautiful our connection was, the fear was so huge because it looked like I would have to annihilate my life, my old life, to live my new one. And I made the decision every day as I went along. I continued to lean in and say yes to my new life. I made the decision to trust my heart, even though my brain was screaming at me to turn around and run. I couldn't do it. I couldn't turn around and run. And I know that me saying yes to myself, living that level of authenticity, was requisite for the mission that I'm living with Tiff on this planet. Being there for you, the empathic person, to support you as the healer that you are. And when I say healer here, I'm not referring to you being a spiritual healer, working for other people, working with other people, healing them. Some of you are, no question. But the healer that I'm talking about is just the nature of your sensitivity. You being a highly sensitive person, and some of you a full-blown empath. When you walk into a room, people feel you. They feel more safe. They feel more loved. They feel like it's safer to be their authentic selves with you. And that's if you never even open your mouth. That's just you showing up. You're a gift on this planet. You are a healer by nature because of who and what you are. And you are an individualized expression of all that is. There's only one you, and you are loved by all of us. And that's just the truth of what really is, the truth of who you really are, the truth of what's possible here. Everything's possible. Whatever your heart calls to is possible. You were designed and created and brought into form with your desires as part of you. Your hero's journey was woven into you. It's not something we can escape. It's something we get drug into or we choose. Either way, one way or the other, it still is going to be fraught with the many opportunities to expand and grow as we go. But when we choose it, I do believe it smooths the way. It opens the doors. The doors open for us in a gentler way. But we still face the monsters. But I promise you, you have the power to slay every monster because you were made for this. So, I guess today the topic was about the hero's journey. And you, my friend, are the hero. Oh my gosh, thank you for being here with us today. It's been so delightful. If you would like more information, jump over to our website, www.empathschool.com. Can't wait to see you there.